Similar to scenes across the country, SUNY New Paltz students were arrested Thursday night for maintaining an encampment to protest U.S. support for Israel's war with Hamas. In a statement Friday, New Paltz Mayor Tim Rogers said he supports students' right to peacefully protest and condemned the use of force against them. Evan Holland Shepler, the New Paltz Democratic chairman who said he was one of the students arrested Thursday, said the administration's decision to bring in police sowed distrust with students.
He spent so much time, so many resources, and traumatized so many young people in a formative time for nothing.
Students at Vassar College in nearby Poughkeepsie have also set up encampments to protest the war. Numerous officials, including New York Governor Kathy Hochul, have voiced support for efforts to clear encampments, saying they are restricting campus functions and the rights of other students. Former Vermont Governor Howard Dean is seriously considering a comeback bid more than 20 years after leaving office. The Democrat became the state's longest-serving governor from 1991 to 2003 before running an unsuccessful presidential campaign the following year. A progressive, the 75-year-old said in an email this week that he's concerned about the state's economic trajectory, citing Burlington's $13 million deficit as an example of a statewide trend. State Democratic Party Executive Director Jim Dandanu tells WAMC Democrats in the state are excited about the possibility.
I was in the State House on Thursday when the rumors started to spread, and it was different day than I've ever had in the State House. People were excited, people were hopeful, and, talking with activists over the weekend around the state, I think folks are really, really excited about the idea.
Republican Governor Phil Scott has not said if he'll run for a fifth two-year term. New York state lawmakers are considering the Medical Aid in Dying Act for the 9th consecutive year. The bill would allow terminally ill and mentally competent adults with a prognosis of 6 months or less to live to request lethal medication. Democrat Amy Paulin is sponsoring the legislation in the Assembly.
It is control over our bodies at our most vulnerable time, the time we are leaving this earth.
Among those advocating against the legislation is the New York State Catholic Conference, which lobbies on behalf of the Roman Catholic Church. Spokesman Bob Bellafiore says the bill goes against the mission of health care.
Doctors are trained to heal. Doctors are trained to help people, even in cases where they have a terminal illness. There are mechanisms for helping people with a terminal illness. They're called hospice and palliative care.
The Medical Society of the State of New York, which had long been opposed to the bill, this year changed its stance, saying they now view the practice as a way to alleviate suffering. 10 states, including New Jersey and Vermont and the District of Columbia, allow medical aid in dying. Albany County District Attorney David Soares says he's returned nearly $23,000 in state grant funding to the county comptroller's office. In January, Comptroller Sue Rizzo requested a state investigation into Soares' use of the funding to give himself and staff a pay increase in December. Soares, a 5-term Democrat who is running for re-election without the local party's endorsement, maintains he has been politically targeted and denies wrongdoing. Speaking to reporters today, Soares said he would not return about $20,000 in longevity pay.
I'm going to say this emphatically so we don't have to dwell on it. Those dollars will not be returned. If they want those dollars returned, then they need to go and collect them from every single elected official, including my predecessors, one of who is alive and the others who has an estate.
Lee Kinlan, a prominent local defense attorney running against Soares, issued a statement this afternoon saying Soares should have never taken the grant money in the first place and that he intends to restore, quote, integrity, honesty, and accountability to the district attorney's office. 2 independent Albany movie theaters are now closing. The Madison Theater on social media Friday said it will close on February 25th. The cinema on Madison Avenue announced its closure a day after Landmark, the operator of the Spectrum 8 theater, said it will not be renewing its lease. The Spectrum's owners are reportedly in talks with companies interested in operating the theater on Delaware Avenue. In a statement shared on social media, the Madison Theater said it would remain open for private events. Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan said Friday she was encouraged that Madison Theater owner Trinity Realty is in discussions with potential new operators. An Ulster County man is accused of killing and dismembering a Pennsylvania woman in the town of Rochester, New York. According to the Ulster County District Attorney's Office, 50-year-old Damon Foy of Kerhonkson is accused of murdering and dismembering 44-year-old Alberta Dale. Authorities believe the crimes took place between March 31st and April 1st. Authorities allege Foy was in the process of disposing Dale's body when law enforcement intervened. Foy was arraigned on multiple charges Friday, including murder, concealment of a human corpse, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. He was remanded to the Ulster County Jail without bail. Officials in Warren County are warning residents about a new phone scam. The Warren County Sheriff's Office says people have received calls appearing to be from their office that falsely claim the person has missed a court date and must pay a fine to avoid being arrested. The unidentified caller reportedly then told them to buy gift cards and provide their codes to avoid prosecution. The sheriff's office says it and no other legitimate agency would demand a payment over the phone and is asking residents who receive phony calls to report them. Former Ulster County Finance Commissioner Bert Golnick has been sentenced to 2 years in jail after pleading guilty to grand larceny in October. Golnick admitted to stealing tens of thousands of dollars from the Hurley Recreational Association, a nonprofit that provides summer youth programs. An investigation also found he stole from a campaign account belonging to former Ulster County Executive Michael Hine. Golnick, who resigned from his county job in March, was ordered to pay $50,000 in restitution to the organizations. More than 20 progressive groups will rally in Vermont to address social, economic, and environmental issues. The coalition is calling on Republican Governor Phil Scott and the state legislature to take action to prevent poverty and mitigate the effects of climate change. Advocates are seeking legislation to increase solar and wind energy production, expand paid family leave, and cancel plans to build more prisons and juvenile detention facilities. The rally is set to begin at Montpelier City Hall at 1 p.m. and will conclude at the Vermont State House. New York State Assemblywoman Aline Gunther of the 100th District has announced she will not seek re-election. The Democrat has represented parts of Orange and Sullivan counties since she was first elected to the Assembly in 2003. Gunther said she is proud of her work to support environmental conservation and expand mental health care. She was first elected to fill the vacancy caused by the death of her husband, former Assemblyman Jacob Gunther III.